Australian Border Force officers in Melbourne have pulled aside this American graphic designer after his vague answers to their questions at the primary line raised some concern.
He originally stated to the officer he was here for a holiday, but he also might do some business. Like, he wasn't 100% sure of what he was going to do, which obviously why the officers decided to thoroughly check everything.
He has 2 large suitcases, which seems excessive for his intended 5-day stay, and officers begin a full baggage search.
So you don't have anything else on you that we need to worry about?
As a precaution, a swab is taken from some of his belongings to check for any traces of narcotics. And as the test is carried out back at the bench, the man makes a surprising admission.
The passenger has told us that, yeah, he does occasionally use cocaine and maybe at parties and things like that, and he does smoke marijuana, who seems to be a fairly frequent user.
The seed of doubt about this passenger continues to grow.
I don't know what else to say, you know.
And as the swab test returns a positive result, officers are increasingly convinced this man has something to hide.
So THC and cocaine, which obviously it raises our suspicion, but he'd already sort of previously explained to us what readings we may get. Again, we don't necessarily take everyone's word that's sort of presented to us.
The man is travelling with a large amount of luggage for his 5-day beach holiday. The contents are checked and appear legitimate. But when the case is taken to be X-rayed, the investigation suddenly takes a dramatic turn.
There's a little bit of density there. They shouldn't really have these dark areas of organic matter under it, really. It's pretty simple as that.
Suspecting there may be a concealment of narcotics, Officer Daniel inspects the lining of the case, but he finds no obvious signs of tampering.
All the original screws are in place. There look no damage to the bag whatsoever. I don't know if there's a board under it.
The passenger is giving nothing away, and officers have no choice but to drill into the base. And if they find any illicit substances, he won't be spending any time on the bench. A white powder is extracted.
Yeah, all right. Well, it shouldn't be in a bag. You shouldn't get white powder out of it. So because it's a white powder, mate, in there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do whatever you gotta do.
I've got to test it, right?
Sure.
But just because there's a white powder under the lining of the suitcase, I'm just going to give her your caution and rights.
I mean, I'm not...
That's fine. So just listen to the officer.
You don't have to do or say anything. Anything you do or say may be used in evidence. Do you understand that?
The substance is taken for testing as Officer Melissa questions the man about the suitcase.
So apart from where you brought it from, is there anything else you can tell us about it?
I bought the luggage downtown LA.
Yeah.
I talked about my trip. He says he's got a special deal. I took it. It was $100 for both.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I can think of what's happening right now.
Okay.
I'm at loss of words right now.
In the examination room, first offender laser technology will be used to try and identify if the white powder is a narcotic. The passenger is becoming increasingly anxious.
Just sit. Sit and breathe. Have a drink. Just breathe.
All right. We're just going to test that powder in the bag. Okay?
Do what you must.
All right.
This is all new news to me, man.
Okay.
It's unbelievable.
His health will be closely monitored. While in the testing room, the results are in, and there's no good news.
I've tested the white substance. It's presumptively told me it's positive for cocaine. Okay, so now we've got some procedures and things that we need to go through.
Sure, anything.
All right.
Anything.
Okay, so it will be a couple of minutes.
As he continues to deny any knowledge of the concealment, attention turns to the man's second suitcase. If the X-ray image is the same, it's possible there's another concealment.
The other suitcase is very similar.
They are now confident that both cases contain cocaine, and he is escorted to a private interview room while the substance undergoes further testing.
He was not aware, or he doesn't know what's in there. He's not sure how it got there. He seems a little bit more in shock. That can happen because obviously whether you know it or not, obviously the situation becomes quite real and they understand the significance of it.
While he anxiously waits to learn his fate, officers in the tool room test the white powder using a narcotics indicator kit.
We've just concluded our testing using the NIC test process. Both our samples came back with a positive. Essentially, we were looking for a blue with a slight shade of pink through. 100%, fairly definitive.
It's a strong blue, indicating the purity of the cocaine, and the case will now be handed over to the Australian Federal Police.
We've handed the matter over to the AFP. There seems to be a pretty significant quantity within the bags. We've x-rayed them empty. We're probably guessing nearly 6 kilos between both the bags. So a pretty significant sum of cocaine.
The man insists he had no idea the cocaine was in his suitcases, but it's now up to the Australian Federal Police and ultimately the courts to decide if he is telling the truth.